Hi, thank you for joining us on this 15 minutes of consulting firm best practices. My name is Maria Isabel Rios, and we'll dive right into it today. Before I do, and as I warm our engines, type in the comments, what is your favorite food? I'm feeling kind of hungry today, and you notice that I am by myself, so it'd be awesome to know and get some inspiration. All right. Deidre, can you please share the first question with us today? I need to start promoting my consulting services because I have only a few contacts. Where do I start my marketing efforts? From Matt. Matt, this is a pretty common question we get as folks get started in consulting or they're growing their firms, or perhaps they have changed their area of focus and they realize their network core is not that big. So how do you grow it? First, pizza. I love pizza. Thank you, Christy, for sharing. So first element is do keep in touch with folks that could be influencers in addition to folks who are potential buyers of your consulting firms. Through those connections, get into the habit to ask for introductions. I love burritos as well. Thank you. So get in the habit of asking for introductions. You can do that in two ways. If you know there's someone you want to meet and your relationship with the person you're speaking with is close, then ask them for an introduction to, say, George at XYZ company. And make it really easy for them. If you browse through David's articles, there are quite a few examples on how to do that effectively. That's one way. Another way, say your relationship is not as close or you don't have someone in mind, then you ask for a general introduction in a general way. We generally ask for folks who are interesting to speak to. The goal of getting that introduction is not a sales pitch. The goal of getting introductions is to establish connection, much like you're doing with your networking. So do it in a right side up way, which is putting them first before yourselves, and look for those connections. Folks who are interesting in general will bring light additional thought process to your life, additional knowledge, and leverage folks in your network who are connections. Another way to quickly grow your network is to partner. And to partner to distribute content, for example. Can you put a webinar together with a partner that has a large audience? We call that borrowing a tribe. That's another strategy that you can address, and you can address it in different marketing formats depending on your preference. So take a look at what we call the 5 marketing musts and pick the ones that you're most likely to do. Stick to them. Don't expect a 30-day turnaround or a 60-day turnaround, and grow your network progressively. One element to note is that your marketing efforts will take 1 to 3 years before they build a network core from very small to pretty large. So think through it, give yourself time, put yourself in a position where you meet as many people in your prospect area as possible. And I'm curious, Chrissy, and the other person who's listening that in show, hola, Andre. Type what has worked for you in growing your network core and in growing your network core the fastest. Andre, you're asking, where can I find the 5 marketing resources? So if you read David's Guide to Winning Clients, there's a downloadable that speaks about the 5 marketing musts. If you go into the articles, which are at davidafields.com/blog, you can find that those as well. Type in, ask a question, 5 marketing musts, and you'll get a list. All right. Hopefully that answers the questions submitted by Mark. Deidre, if you can, may I please have the second question? My team, a mix of subcontractors and employees, are working at an average to average plus on our current engagement. How do I tell them without scaring them away? Good question. Maybe a top position, right? Client is happy-ish, but you want to address it with your team. So what do? What we suggest you do is you do a retrospective. What we mean is sit down with a team, talk about your engagement, what has worked and what hasn't, and have a discussion centered around the what and the how and not the who. Where we get in trouble oftentimes when we share advice for each other or when we want to improve is when we make it very personal. And remember, everybody is presumably working to the best of their abilities. And what they're trying to do is to deliver to a level that will make you and will make the client happy. So with that in mind, looking at your goals, what is working in your engagement, what is not working, what are you going to change? And establish practices that are common or homogeneous to all team members. That's when there's like a group situation, like the one we had in the question. Say instead there's a one-on-one. Then that conversation, same thing. You could do a retrospective following the same outline, but have that conversation one-on-one. Be thoughtful about the space you use to have it, about its timing. Be thoughtful about how you share your objective of improving the client experience, improving quality of deliverables, and at the same time, making sure your teammate, your contractor, is happy, effective, and performing to their best. Thank you, Christy. I see here that you post a weekly blog and you share with your distribution list. Which I built based on your LinkedIn followers. Very smart way to build a network core, a very smart way to expand your outreach. So thank you, Christy, for sharing that. All right. As you hear me speak, if you have points of reference or experiences where you've also had, for example, teammates who you've subcontracted that are performing below your expectations or the expectations of the client, in this example, read back. Yep, reconnecting with folks. It's, again, targeted to how do you grow rapidly, right? It's true. Referrals, what you're referring to is referrals, to use the same word, right? A very effective way because you have proof or you at least have a proof point in your contacts that of the work you do and how it is to work with you, which is what most folks who haven't worked previously with any of us as consultants are actually wondering. So thank you for contributing that answer and add it to the discussion. All right, let's move on to the third question then, please, dear. Thank you. How much of the business development process can I delegate to my internal support team? Chris. Chris, we get this question often as well. It's hard as you work through your delivery and you're growing your firm and you're wondering, okay, where can I optimize my time, right? How much of this can I actually delegate out? So in thinking through this, there are elements we want you to absolutely keep and elements we would want you to absolutely delegate if you can and you have the infrastructure. So elements we want you to absolutely keep are the connection elements and the relationship elements with folks in your network core. It's better to say, take the time and write a succinct email, what we call a 111 email, yourself with your voice, and have it be true to the conversations you've had before, than to have them receive something that looks disconnected or like you're really not thinking about them. So that element, that is connection, your conversations with folks in your network, or even if you're not anticipating an engagement, we suggest you keep. What do we suggest you delegate kind of relentlessly? All of the administrative aspects of setting up your business development. So starting with calendaring, with defining, say you have a network core list and you're deciding, okay, who do I reach out this week? Because, we suggest you have a regular outreach schedule. Your administrative team, your support team should help you bring up information. These are the 10, 20 people, hopefully, that you're reaching out one-on-one this week. And they can also do sleuthing for you, right? What has happened in their lives that it's interesting? Where have they appeared? All that information that is relevant and will be helpful for you in preparing for your outreaches, your team can do for you. What can your team do in addition to that? Your team can maintain your pipeline system, where they ask you and they come back and they become your accountability partner, where they're saying, okay, you were supposed to do 10, 15, 20 outreaches this week. How many have you actually done? Who have you spoken with? And help you move all of that through the pipeline so that your business development time, it's focused on connections that hopefully result in opportunities, and then you develop proposals and you submit them. Your team can also be instrumental when it comes time to develop proposals, right? They can prepare, if you have your offering systemized, they can prepare that for you. They can prepare templates for your proposals. They can bring out examples of things you have done. All of that kind of behind the curtain work, your team can support you with. And we advocate that they actually do, because it takes time. So the more time with your network one-on-one that you can get, the better. Everything else, if you can delegate doors in, it's fantastic. Now, I'm wondering, for those of you who are here, if you have different experiences, what have you delegated successfully? What are you delegating today? And what do you wish you could delegate? Maybe we can talk through that as well. So as you're typing, I am reading comments from our first question, where you said you had a weekly blog post that targets the field of expertise. Very smart. We advocate for the deep expertise, while also writing guest articles in a publication that is targeted executives in my target industry. Beautiful. So you've gotten visibility through writing, which is one of the 5 marketing musts. So fantastic. All right. So as you think through it, it's okay. Drop comments in the link time. I'll look at it after we're done today. We'll get back to you some more answers. So 3 things before we wrap up, because I'm looking at the clock. The first thing is connect with us. David is not here today. He'll love it if you connect with him, even if you haven't done so already. Connect with me, M-I-R-I-O-S, M-I Rios, in LinkedIn. That'd be fantastic. Second request that we have from you, if you haven't subscribed to David's weekly articles, do so. You're in for a treat. As I referenced before, there's a lot of content and a lot of really actionable steps. Plus, the most fun, or one of the most fun elements of it, is folks actually comment. David responds, there's a conversation going. So davidafields.com/subscribe. And our last request from you today is that if you have questions for next week's LinkedIn Live, which will be with me as well, write to info@davidafields.com. We take them very seriously. As you see, we put them up every week, and we're delighted to hear questions that you have. Thank you very much for being with us today. See you next Monday.